All right, let's start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem, Racha Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one basically is various topics dated September 25th, 2025. And I don't really have anything in particular to go into, but I did want to say a few words on a video that the Elder Apostle Gabar did concerning the year 2000, the year 2000 doctrine that was taught at One West. Now, the videos that you see out there that pretty much, are circulating, when we said that, is pretty much videos that we put up. If we had never put those videos up, you would have never known those videos existed, or that doctrine existed. Now, that doctrine is a doctrine that was taught at the school. It was High Priest Ariah that brought it out, and he brought out some precepts, and everybody taught it back then, But as always, Great Millstone is always, set up as a scapegoat to wear the blame, for everything else. Everybody else was teaching it, but we're the only ones that are catching the flack for it. And we embrace it because, it was a part of the doctrine. And we did teach it. We didn't come up with it. It was, like I said, it was a part of the doctrine like the Elder Apostle Gabar brought out. And it was based off of the book of Hosea, chapter 6, and verses 1 and 2. Right? It says, "Come and let us return unto Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, for he have torn and he will heal us. He have smitten and he will bind us up." Right? So, this prophecy here is taking place right now here in America. Because when you go to the first chapter, let's go to Hosea, chapter 1, and verse 10. It says, "Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, you are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, you are the sons of the living power." And that's here in America, because no one out there, whether theologian or religious leaders or whoever it may be, scholars or whatever, any higher schools of learning of biblical, seminaries and all of that, they do not recognize us, the Israelites, as the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. To them, we're just niggas, spooks, spics, wetbacks, tontos, so on and so forth, beaners, slaves. We don't fall under that, trajectory. Like if anybody else can be the Israelites except for us. And this is also biblical. When you go to the book of Numbers 23 and verse 9, it says, "For from the tops of the rocks I see him, and from the hills I behold him. Lo, the people shall dwell alone, and shall not be reckoned among the nations." Right. So we would dwell alone first and foremost. Nobody, everybody wants to be like Jake, but nobody wants to associate with Jake, if you understand what I'm saying. So it says we shall be alone. The word is badad, and the word is isolation. So we've been isolated from everybody. It's no coincidence that, with Jake, or Judah specifically, you have something called redlining. All right. What is redlining? Redlining meaning. Redlining meaning. What does it mean when someone is redlining? Redlining can be defined as a discriminatory practice that consists of the systematic denial of services such as mortgages, insurance loans, and other financial services to residents of certain areas based on their race or ethnicity. So that's pretty much, what we see. We've been isolated. We've been placed alone. We've been separated from these other nations. All right. where are we? Right here. So isolation, withdrawal, separation. So we've been separated, an isolated city, and also we are separated or alone because we are the only nation that the Heavenly Father is dealing with. The Lord is not dealing with any of those other nations. That's why He never gave them the law, statutes, and commandments, right? So when we go back to the word reckon, when we go to the word reckoned, right? The word there is cheshab, and the word for cheshab is to think, plan, esteem, calculate, invent, make a judgment, imagine, count. So we are not counted among the nations of the planet. And I'm joined by the Elder Kanak.
Shalom.
You know, we're not recognized among the nations out there. You know, here it is, you got the UN, right, which is on the soils of America, United Nations, and the Israelites are not, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians are not represented there. The people that you do have there from these so-called Latin American countries, do not represent the interest of the indigenous people.
Mm-hmm.
They only, represent the interest of the international banking families of Esau. You want to say something?
Yeah. For example, a prime example is Mexico. The president of Mexico is a small hat woman at that. So the interest is not for the actual people, but you can see how the Edomite, he slithered his way up into power, power through all the Latin America tribes.
Yep.
And if they do got a Jake that's up there, that Jake is a sellout.
Mm-hmm.
Behind the scenes, who's moving, the strings is a small hat.
That's it.
That's taking all the resources, because there's billions and billions of dollars worth of resources down there, and the actual indigenous people do not benefit from none of those resources. But who does? These multi-international companies that's owned by who? The small hats.
Yep.
Okay, the Edomites.
And it's heavy because the indigenous people, right, which are the Israelites, are the poorest of all of the people. Gad, look at Gad. This is Gad's land, and where is Gad at? On reservations. And when you look at the conditions of these reservations, they are fucking deplorable. Deplorable. I'm talking about to the point where, when you see these documentaries, or you see these videos with Gad on the reservation, you want to cry, because they're in such a low state, and they're in such poverty, and the shit that Esau gives them, whether it be liquor or food or whatever, is just stuff that's through. That's why you see Gad. They're huge. They got diabetes. They got all kind of health problems, because of the diet and the food that they've been given and the conditions that they've been living in.
Yeah, and they lost their heritage of their diet and their medicine,
mm-hmm.
their true medicine going into
right.
back into the earth. They don't even have access to a lot of the land where this stuff grows anymore. They rely on government subsidies that are toxic.
Mm-hmm.
The wheat that they get to make the fried bread, that's toxic.
Damn.
The corn that they get is toxic. Everything that they get, the cheese, the milk, and then they're filled with so much sorrow, so they turn to drink and drugs.
Yep.
A suicide rate amongst the tribe of Gad is the highest.
Damn.
Okay, because they just they through.
That's it. Matter of fact, go to Genesis 49 and 19.
Genesis 49.
And this is prophecy, But now the Lord is providing a way for Gad to get back into the good graces of the Most High, because the Lord is about to give them no retribution. Because Esau ain't going to do it. He been promising for how long? How many treaties had they signed with Gad, and they broke all of them? Because the white man's words are lies. It's not, whatever they say, they're not going to do. So you got it.
Yeah, this is Genesis 49 and 19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last.
Right. So how was Gad or the so-called North American Indians taken out? By a troop. That was the U.S. cavalry. How were the Native American Indians conquered? Let's see what it says. Native American nations were conquered through a multifaceted process involving warfare, disease, the deliberate breaking of treaties, and forced removal to reservations, all driven by the desire for native land and resources by European Americans, which are Edomites, settlers, and governments. The U.S. government often violated its own treaties, used legal manipulation, and engaged in violence and forced marches like the Trail of Tears to dispossess tribes and clear land for westward expansion. The arrival of European diseases decimated native populations, while superior European military technology and internal Native American rivalries also contributed to the conquest. What did Yahweh said? A nation divided against itself shall not stand. You know, Gad had their problems, their issues, their warring factions. Esau was here conquering. You know, and the two main factors besides prophecy took Gad down, and that was the Gatling gun, which became a game changer, and the scouts that helped take them down, and can't forget the Buffalo Soldiers. You know, because they played a major role in taking a lot of Gadites down, which were, you know, Judites, and some of them could have been Reuben, you know, that helped take down Gad. You see?
Yeah, sellouts among our people.
Yeah, you know? That's it.
I wanted to get because I said, I said how the suicide rate is highest. I just wanted to get a receipt on that.
Okay, what you got?
Yeah, so I just typed it in.
What you type?
Suicide rate among Native Americans.
Suicide rate.
It's kind of going to, you know, how the AI is. It's going to give you different things.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's going to, you know, tell you, you know, what it is. And this is what I got. So let me read a little bit. Based on data from the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, American Indians and Alaska Natives. So see how Esau, he lumped both of them in together, the Alaska Natives, because they're Gad. That's Indian people. All right, have the highest suicide rates of any ethnical or racial group in the United States. Suicide is the second leading cause of death for non-Hispanic IAAN, which is American Indian, Alaska Native, which is the tribe of Gad. People between the ages of 10 and 34. Highest rates in 2022, non-Hispanic IAAN people had a suicide rate 91% higher than the general U.S. population.
Dang.
So just, you know, because they threw,
that's it.
You know, with no hope. Like Esau has completely stripped them, you know. That's it. But as we read the prophecy, Gad is going to overcome at the end, and that's one thing Esau is scared of is the tribes coming back together, okay, under one banner, and actually how it shot.
Yep, and I'm trying to type in Native Americans on reservations. I want to go to see what they give me in the images. See what they give me on the images. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. UN, un-American reservation. I want to get a bigger picture. Hold on. Let me see if I can right click that picture and open it. Open image. Let's see. Damn. It's so deplorable. They made it super small. Look at that shit.
Zoom in.
Look at that shit. You know? I don't even know what the hell. I don't even know if that's even. There we go. Here we go.
Yeah, that's the same picture I just pulled up.
Look at this shit. Now you mean to tell me? Look at this. This is Gad's land, and look at how they live it.
Cool.
You know, you can see obviously they're obviously overweight. You know, look at the deplorable condition. Look, even the dog is through. He needs some therapy, brother. He needs some sun salutations or something.
You know, and this is why with the Isaiah the 14th chapter, the whole earth is going to be at rest. You know, once this damn devil, you know, gets taken down. All the because he's even oppressing the animals.
Yeah,
you know, he's oppressing the animals. He's oppressing the you know, the trees. Well, I saw like a cat out there the other day. It actually came up to me, and I'm just looking at it. It looked through, and it was trying to drink water out of a little basin that was like murky and just like it'd been there for a while. You could just tell the water's been there for a while. It's just spoiled, and the cat is just all through trying to, don't drink that. You know, but it's like, it's nothing I can do. You know, I can't save all the cats of the world. You know, because this is a global thing, and this is the thing. We actually care. Yeah, we actually care for the earth. So even insects that are not able to do what they're doing, we feel bad about that. Mm-hmm. Okay, the different crustaceans down on the bottom of the sea. You know, the crab, and we feel, you know, and the lobster. They're unclean, but we feel sorry that they can't actually do their job because that affects us. It affects everything. And this damn devil has messed up everything. But how much more the actual people of the Most High, the Lord cares more about the Israelites than he cares about the animals. Yeah, we're the higher price. The higher price. We're the apple of his eye. Yep. You know.
He said, "We're worth more than sparrows to him." You know. Now I looked up the word troop in Genesis 49. The Hebrew word is gadawad, which is a variation of God, you know, which is Gad, and it says a band, troop, marauding band, raiding band, troop, band of divisions of army, and that division of armies was the U.S. Cavalry. Matter of fact, let's type that in the U.S. cavalry on the images so you can see. And we'll just get like a picture of it because, you know, you're not gonna get. Well, this is a more modern picture, but this is what it looked like. You know, this is, you know, the U.S. cavalry, and just imagine these devils, you know, along with scouts, along with the Buffalo Soldiers, along with the Gatling gun. You know, matter of fact, I'm gonna type that in now. Gatling gun.
And the spirit of Satan behind it.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, the Lord really gave him.
Right. The Lord, you know, gave him that. You know.
Yeah, but they did have Satan on them. Look at that.
Hey, because even Satan will prevail on certain things. You know, the Lord, like he told the lying spirit, you know, that came to him. You know, the council of Ahab and the prophets. I believe the prophet of Baal. You know, all them prophets. He said, "Nah, you're gonna be successful. Put a lying spirit." So the Lord will give demons the power to do things. And be successful. So the Lord gave Esau the power to come and take down the tribes, to take down the natives here in America, were the 10 tribes, and then to also bring the southern kingdom over to America. Yeah, you know. And he also put like you said, put the spirit of Satan on them to you know, because in order to do that, to kill the men, the women, the children, old, you know, you have to have Satan on you. No compassion. So what the scripture say, you shall have judgment without mercy, that have showed no mercy. Now I typed in Gatling gun. This is an actual picture, well, not an actual picture, but a drawing of the Gatling gun. And they show you that in the movie Magnificent Seven. You know, the newer one with Denzel, you know, and Ethan Hawke. You know, and this thing is a game changer because this thing, once them bullets start flying, it's over. Like, you know, I've heard stories. I've never read it myself, but I actually either heard it or saw it on a document. I can't remember how, you know, so long ago, that when
Esau was trying to kill Gad. They would shoot at Gad, and Gad would dodge the bullets, and dodge the bullets to the point where they'll come all the way up to where Esau was and take him out. That's how fierce Gad was. So you know that it had to be a higher power to strip them of that courage, to strip them of that warrior spirit, to be able to allow a weakling, a base man like Esau to take him out. You know? And this was a game changer because Esau's blessing is what? The sword.
If they didn't follow any, so-called, the etiquette of war.
No.
Esau, he couldn't get the men, so what would he do? He'll wait for the men to go out and hunt, and then he'll come in, use the Gatling gun on the women and the children.
That's it.
So then you come back, you see your whole family dead,
butchered.
Your woman clothes torn off, dead. That Esau did before they killed him. You're not going to be in your right mind.
No.
You're going to rush at Esau, right? And he laid the snare. He's waiting for you with the Gatling gun.
Yeah.
Take your ass out. So this is how they took out. Gad. By using the deceptive tactics.
It's called psychological warfare because Gad was doing guerrilla tactics on him, taking him out. See, Esau, the only strategy Esau had was, fighting in a line and just coming at each other, shooting each other, killing each other. They didn't understand even the Roman Empire.
Yeah,
that's what so-called barbarians, or the Germanic tribes were able to fuck them up when they came out to the different forests. Because they couldn't set up that wall that they normally would out in the open field, And then Esau took Gad's, those different Germanic tribes, tactics and incorporated it into theirs.
Yep.
That's why you have something called the Green Berets and the Special Forces and shit like that. That fight in the woods and exercise in guerrilla warfare.
Yeah, and it shows you in their military, a lot of the military terminology, it goes back to Gad, like the Apache helicopter, the Tomahawk missile.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? That goes back to, they took Gad down and they learned. That's why they had the certain Gadite scouts and stuff like they learned the tactics of how to fight.
Yep.
And then they used that and incorporated that in their military, and was able to take down all the nations. This was the main nation they wanted to take down first. They could take down Jake. They could take down the whole world.
Oh yeah. And
the wicked elite, they knew who we were. See, they came to us with that perpetual hatred. Ezekiel the 35th chapter. It didn't, I see people. It was like if they lost that knowledge, it was something inside of them that just hated us, and the spirit of Satan was on them to butcher women, rape, rob, and pillage, basically, and have no mercy, no
compassion. Well, the elder Nabab put the scripture in Isaiah 47:6. Where they didn't show no compassion to the old or the young. But we could go to Psalms 83 unless you got something.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna go to
what you got.
Deuteronomy 28.
Oh, the brother just put something up. He put Deuteronomy 28:63.
Okay, yeah,
where you at? Or should I say the elder?
It was
what you remember what it says?
Yeah. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 49.
Okay.
I'll read 48. Yeah, I started 48. It says, therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he has destroyed thee. Right, and it hasn't changed. You even if you have your own business, even if you make your own, you have your own clothing line or whatever it is that you have, you still got to go to Esau for supplies. You still got to, pay, whether it's rent or, rent a place to get all this stuff. You still got to come to him for the one of all things, because this is a part of the curse. It's not, we can't get around it. Go ahead. Yep. You better pay them taxes too.
Yeah.
It says, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flies, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
There you go. You got it.
This was also fulfilled when Esau came.
Right.
You know, it's a different time. You know, Babylonians, different times when nations came
Yep.
upon us. You know, was likened unto a swift eagle, a tongue that we didn't understand. You know, a nation that came to conquer us. But this was fulfilled when the cavalry came in.
Yeah.
When the Edomites came in, and it just so happens that the official animal of America is the eagle too, as well.
Right. The mascot.
The mascot.
Yeah, the symbol of the eagle. That's there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know, as the elder just mentioned, you know, that different captivities, we went through different things, but we suffer some of the same things under different, you know, nations. You know, and this is a part of the curse, because the curse said, matter of fact, I'm gonna read the 45th verse. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee. When you in pursuit of somebody, you went on their ass, right? And overtake thee, meaning no matter where you went on the planet, no matter how remote of an area, they were going to catch up to you. Mm-hmm. It says,
because say this too, Apostle, because you got Jakes that's in slavery, that went to slavery in China. You know what I mean? They got carried off. They got carried off into captivity in China. Jake got carried off in captivity in the land of Elam, in India, Pakistan, Iran. So Jake is everywhere. It don't matter where you went. There's a population that got carried off. The Lord scattered Jake. You want to run somewhere else? Well, the Lord gonna set a nation upon you. They're gonna grab your ass up.
That's it.
They're gonna put you in captivity.
The curses are like a heat-seeking missile. You know, heat-seeking missile curses.
Mm-hmm. And it don't matter if you look like a lighter complexion. Maybe you might even look like the other nations too. It's like it's a spiritual thing.
There you go.
They'll still. It's like, how the hell did they find me? You know, the curses came and got your ass.
The spirit beareth witness with our spirit that we are the sons of the living power.
That's it.
You know, the scriptures say that Israel is not hid from me. You know, so the Lord knows every Israelite wherever they at, because remember, the promise was made to all of the seed of Abraham, which are the Israelites. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right, let's go to the romper room level. So it goes on to say, till thou be destroyed, meaning destruction. And how much more destroyed can Jake be than today? Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And they, meaning the curses, shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Unto the Lord take these curses that are upon us and put them on Esau and the other nations. Mm-hmm. Boom. So now we could go back to.
Yep.
And you got it. I'll be right back.
Genesis. I'm just going to continue to read down.
Okay, go ahead.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Right? Because the Lord will script Jeshurun wax fat and kick. You know, the Lord, he set Jake up with everything. You know, we had vineyards. You know, we had a multiplied family, sons and daughters. We actually control resources. You know, people. We have people in slavery. You know what I mean? Everything was good, but and what happened? Jake forgot that the Heavenly Father gave us those things. See, the state that we're in, we haven't always been in this state. This is the lowest state we've ever been in. Okay, and there was one point in many times in history when we were above all nations. Okay, even going back all the way to the garden, when it talks about there were giants in the earth, we were those giants. We were those highly exalted people, and people look to us for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right, Deuteronomy the 4th chapter, the 5th verse, it talks about how when the nations see us, they will marvel at us, like, man, what is this great nation that, you know, these laws and statutes and they're so close to the Most High. So the nations, they envied us. Okay, and this is why when you go into Lamentation, the 2nd chapter, it's like they wag their hands and clap their hands, you know, and they say, this is the day that we look for. You know, we wanted this day. And we'll go into Psalm 83. I know the apostle wanted to do that, but they wanted to take us down because we were on the top. We haven't always been in this low situation. This is why even Jake in this captivity will call himself king. I'm a king.
Yeah.
You know, they'll carry themselves like You know,
royalty.
like royalty, because that's in our spirit to carry ourselves like royalty. Okay, but we have been brought down super low.
And that's why Jake go broke when they become celebrities,
that's it.
because they used to that, that lavish lifestyle.
Yeah, because if you consider the wicked elite, they can buy whatever they want, and the thought of them not having any more money
Facts.
that's not even a thought. I want this expensive, or I spent $10 million today. Like, what's $10 million?
Right. And they don't splurge like Jake does.
Yeah, Jake.
Jake splurges even when they don't have it. What they call it, ghetto fabulous.
Yeah. That's Jake. That's Jake's spirit. You
Yep.
know, because that's a king. That's royalty. And then Jake will splurge, but then they don't have that money coming back in.
Nope.
In the kingdom, we're gonna have riches coming back. Riches gonna be coming in continually.
Yeah.
We're gonna actually control resources.
Instead, we're gonna boast in their riches.
That's it. Yeah, we're gonna. Yep, that's it.
The nation's riches.
That's it.
And the other point you were speaking about is that they only consult to cast him down from his excellency.
That's it.
Because they understand that as long as Esau keeps us down, that there's no way we can get back to the Father in his demonic warped mind. But he didn't count on the elect.
That's it.
Being tapped into Yahweh Bashem Yahushai.
That's it. He didn't consider the prophecies because he's not a spiritual man.
Right. He's an immoral man.
That's it. And then I was going to make a point. Well, even now, even Jake that's in this low state, but then you have certain Jakes that have been, exalted, so to speak, in the eyes world of, celebrities and entertainers and stuff like that. And you can start to see the shifts even in that low state, how all the nations want to be like Jake. Yeah. All the women, they want to, they're talking about, I want a black man, I want a black, you know what I mean? They're moving to that. You can see there's a spirit that's moving towards Jake, because that's that translation of power. And we're actually starting to see that actually manifest physically. And Esau, he's like, no, the white man got to fight back. We got to take this back. Okay.
We got to do something.
Yeah, we got to do something. You got actually Esau, I think it's like the white man fight back protest, Yeah. Some crazy shit, because Esau actually feels the power slipping. Yep. He's actually catching his woman, getting with Jake behind his back.
Hey.
And that's the first sign of a nation going down.
That's it.
Is when the woman goes to another race, because the woman, she's gonna go with whoever has the power. Okay.
And that's Jake in an inferior state. Everything leads back to that, because, you got to understand the dynamic and the greatness, that the Lord is going to reestablish us as. We were great back then, but how much more in the kingdom where we're completely changed?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Remember that it talks about in Genesis, I think in the 6th chapter, it talks about the giants and how they picked all the women that they wanted from the other nations. So that means Jake wanted, you wanted a Moabite, you wanted Ammonite. You picked them and you grabbed them up. They didn't, I don't want to be with you. No, you had choices because you were the top guy. You were the top people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to say the Lord will make a man more precious than fine gold. And in these times, they're talking about the elect of the nation of Israel.
Yeah, so let me continue. It says, verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as an eagle, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's why they took Gad out the way they did, and that's just like one tribe, never mind all of the other tribes, just dealing with the one tribe of Gad, how they pretty much like the term said, they decimated the natives, by warfare, by disease, and even by other Israelites, other Gadites that were, fighting against their brothers because they thought that they would get a better position with Esau.
The Lord put a reprobate spirit on him.
Yep.
51, it says, and he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land, and thou shalt be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind, or flocks of the sheep, until he has destroyed thee.
Right, and that happened in all the different captivities. Here, what did they do? One of the main sources of food for Gad was the buffalo. And what these devils do? Took the buffalo out. Because these devils, they're just destroyers. They're not builders. They're not, they're not people that bring forth life. They bring forth death. They'll kill animals just for sport. They don't kill animals as a means of survival and as a means to, to eat, because they need to. They kill it for sport. That's why it says in the 26th scroll, beware the beast man, for he is the devil's pawn.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
It says shun him, drive him back to his jungle lair, because he'll make a desolate wilderness, something like that, of your land and his, or something like that. And you see that if the Lord left this devil alone, this place would be really finished. It's only through the mercies of Yahweh Shai and the way that he set up the earth to fight and to, still, rejuvenate that this place is still here.
Yeah, the earth is going. Can I get this?
Get it.
This is Job 20.
And then we could go to Psalms 83.
20 and 27, because the earth has an immune system.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And the earth is getting ready to reject Esau.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is Job 20 and
because what happens when you don't take care of the body? Mm-hmm. Eventually the body rebels.
Yep, that's it.
And fights against you. Say, you know what? Fuck you. You don't want to help. I'm done with you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Job 20 and 27. The heavens shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him.
Let's see what it says in some of the other translations. Damn.
NIV, the heavens will expose his guilt.
Damn.
The earth will rise up against him.
What about the NLT?
NLT, the heavens will reveal their guilt, and the earth will testify against them. All
right, and now I just want to get one more. I'm gonna look up the word rise up. It should be the word quam or quawam. Yep. Rise up, quawam. Look, to arise, hostile sense. See it? Mm-hmm. Number 2. And that's the main one we need. So that's how is the earth rising up against them? Well, you see what's happening. All of these different earthquakes are happening, first and foremost because it's prophecy, and second of all because they're pumping all of the oil, which is a lubrication of the tectonic plates, in the earth. You're depleting the earth of its natural resources through this artificial system that you set up.
Yeah, Esau was the artificer. How do you say?
Artificer, yeah.
Artificer, yeah, which just shows you that this is his artificial kingdom.
Oh yeah.
Like if you lost a limb, Yahweh Shai, he can grow your limb back through faith.
Well, what about Malchus' ear?
The same, Malchus' ear. He put the ear back. That's never been done.
Nope.
What can Esau do? All he can do is give you an artificial ear.
Right. He didn't do surgery.
Yeah.
He just grabbed that big brown ear off the ground and put it back on his head.
That's it. And that's the power that's going to be distributed to the elect. Okay, no other nation has been able to get that power. Okay, they search for that power and they want that power, and the only way for them to tap in is to go artificial.
Mm-hmm.
Hence the MOTB system. That's an artificial kingdom.
Yeah,
you have to actually have frequencies. You got to tap into the frequencies through your technology and send volts and shit, and you got computer programming, and it can break down.
Yep.
It's not real. It's not organic.
Right. It needs maintenance.
And
this is a part of the God complex
that
the Esau has. So he wants to be like the Most High. He's trying to establish himself to be as the Most High, but he has to do it artificially because he doesn't have the power to do it, regularly like the Most High can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And
going back into the scripture, how the earth is rising up against them, which the apostles talk about the earthquakes, and you got the different natural disasters.
Mm-hmm.
You got the nations coming up against you as well, right? You got the different signs in heaven, but then you have the word of the Lord. You have the prophets, and that's like the last defense mechanism, if you will. The Lord activates the prophets to come and speak against you to bring you down. You know, it's like the medicine that's killing the virus and the bacteria, you know, the wormwood and the black wall and the clove.
That's it.
That's the word of the Lord that's getting ready to take your ass out. And then the ultimate physician, he's getting ready to come.
Right.
All right, He's about to cut off that long disease. So there's certain diseases where you need the Lord, you know, to heal you. No amount of, you know, herbs and ointments, and it's a grievous sore. Right. You need actual supernatural power to actually bring the body back whole. So that's what we need. We need supernatural intervention, which is Yahweh Shai coming, which is the brightness coming. Yeah. To take down the darkness. These damn devils talking about they're the light and they fighting against the dark. But that's actually how they perceive the Most High. They perceive him as dark. Right. Okay? And them as light.
Yeah, because they're trying to this is the reason why they're trying to congest the channels out there that are used to bring out this truth. You know, and control it so that they can get rid of and scrub everything on there that can be potentially harmful to them. You know, because they don't want this truth out there, but it's too late. You know, the damage is already done. The word is already out there. You know, and all the Most High has to do is just, you know, once these devils make that micro head mandatory, that's it. Close the curtains. Final curtain call. You know, so let's go to Psalms 83, and then, you know, if you have anything else, or if not, you know, we can close out there.
Yep, Psalms 83:1. It says, "Keep not thou silence," and this is a psalm of Asaph. Mm-hmm. "Keep not thou silence, O power; hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power."
So why is he saying this? Because, you know, he saw that how you know, this world is corrupt, and how the wicked and these nations are plotting to destroy the Israelites perpetually. And this is why Esau is trying to cover up these different channels from you know, and bringing all these different distortions so that Jake can't wake up. But what they don't understand is that the Heavenly Father set up stumbling blocks because he doesn't want every Israelite out there. You know, these camps that are trying to, you know, 12 tribes worldwide trying to wake up every Israelite, you're fighting a losing battle because you're fighting against the Most High. You're kicking against the pricks because the Lord blinded the majority of these jakes out here. They're not going to get it. They're not supposed to get it. They're not meant to get it. But you're going to defy what the Most High says, and you're going to overturn what the Lord is saying. You know, you're going to be the one that open up the eyes of the ones the Lord himself blinded. Ain't that about a bitch? You got it, bro.
It says, "For lo, thy enemies make a tumult. They that hate thee have lifted up the head."
Right, because Esau, the head vampire right now, is the lowest of the low. Yeah. He is at the bottom of the totem pole, but yet they have lifted up the head. They have gotten the ability to overtake and overpower the Israelites and become these, you know, people that wield their power and their influence the water on the earth, you know.
And they became proud,
right?
Because they truly took down all the nations.
Yeah,
you know, and they were the lowest of the low. That one at Captain Kirk's funeral, not funeral, but what is the obituary, or I forget what they were speaking. One of the Edomites.
Oh, eulogy.
Eulogy, right? It was one Edomite that basically.
Was it in Latin?
No,
it's inside joke.
Okay.
You got it.
One of them Edomites basically said that, you know, we came from the Roman Empire.
Oh yeah, that devil.
You know, that devil. You know.
Yeah, Athens and the Roman Empire.
Yeah, he started going down the history because they know the history where they came from. And he said we came out of the caves as well. He said we came out of the caves. I was watching Elder Yashwamba. You know, he brought that on one of the videos. You know, certain brothers too. And I watched that video. I did a little bit on that, but I didn't go to that speech. But he basically said we came out of the cave and then we built these great civilizations. Remember,
it says they're the basis of men.
That's it.
Men of no name.
That's it. But they have gotten the renown over all the other nations.
Right.
But they've done it through deceptive tactics.
Boom. There you go.
You know, they didn't do it. They weren't set in that position righteously by the Most High.
Right.
Okay, because we were set up in that position because we followed the way the Lord really. There was nothing that we did for us to be put in that position. There was nothing that we did for us to be an Israelite. That was right. That's just the Most High.
His word, because the promise he made, the promise and the oath he made to Abraham.
You know, it was the vessels of our honor and the vessels of dishonor.
Yeah, and that's true. He said they are dragons. They are the dragon.
Yep.
You have awakened the dragon.
Yeah. He did say, yeah.
Come on, man. Why? And then he started mentioning Greece, which is the first of the beast. And he said the Romans, which was the second one. You know, it's on down the line. Mm-hmm. You know, and we know that it's the Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, the French, the Germans. I'm sorry. Let me run it back. It's the Greeks, the Romans, the French, the Spanish, the Germania Major, Germania Minor, and Britain. And then the eighth head is America.
That's it.
You know?
And so Esau, he knows his history. And he truly knows how he got it. So he's like, all right, we're about to go back into that ancient spirit so we can keep it. And that's pretty much the devil coming down unto you having great wrath. Right.
And they're going to do that because they're fully, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a word, I can't think of it right now, but they're for lack of better words, they're fully inclined to keep that power.
Yeah.
You know, and they're not trying to let that go.
Mm-hmm. They feel that the power slipping, the internal clock within them.
Yep.
Because they study everything. There's no secret that thou can hide, thou art wiser than Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
So they understand a kingdom, ultimately falls at this time. I think next year will be the 250 year of America being established.
Yep, as an empire.
So they understand, and this is why there's an elaborate plan to basically own the technology or the MOTB to incarcerate the whole planet Earth.
Yeah.
But it's being done deceptively. Like, this is going to be something for you, and all nations have accepted it. So these nations believe that they're going to be autonomous from America,
right?
And they're gonna be they're gonna have their own hegemon. There's going to be many different powers on the earth. It's going to be a multipolar earth. But really, once that seed is inside of you, Esau, he can control you now.
Yep.
That's the whole thing, is to get that technology inside you so he can control your mind. He can control your brain.
Which shows you that the nation that drunken of the wine, therefore the nations are mad. Because here it is, you haven't learned yet.
That's what you don't know that this is actually happening. How? What? So that just shows you that the Lord, he put them. That was that wine, and this is why they said the nations are mad, which is that drunken rage, because they're going to find out this is what this damn devil was doing.
Yep.
All right, and they're going to point all their missiles on who? America and those small hats.
Yep.
That's the problem.
And as the elder pastor pointed out, they pretty much everything is pretty much centered around the finance, centered around the economy. This is the main beef that these nations have with America. That economy. But you got it, bro.
Yep. Verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Right. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones, which are Jake, beginning with Judah. Because who's more hidden than Judah? Who's the most despised out of all the tribes? Look at this word crafty. See what it says for the word crafty. Crafty. The word there is iram. And the word iram means to be subtle, be shrewd, be crafty, beware. Remember, it says that the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. It says, take crafty counsel, be prudent, become shrewd. And that's pretty much the main point. So this crafty counsel that they've taken is what? Through their legislative traps that they've set up in this country, to get Jake. Because the main problem that they want to get is Jake, because it says that there's going to be an insurrection upon those that fear the Most High, that fear the Lord. That's going to be the main problem. That's going to be the most threatening thing to the New World Order are the Israelites, especially the ones that have woken up to learn that who they are. and it's been roughly around 56 years or so. Actually about 57, 50, about 58 years or so, 58, almost 70 years since the elder Abba Bivens was on the scene back then. I'm talking about from roughly around 1969 to present, to where, this truth has been, constantly hammering the earth, constantly hammering. And the Lord said in the book of Jeremiah that his word is like a hammer. And what is it doing? It's breaking apart the hammer of the earth, which is Esau.
That's it.
And these words are systematically dissecting and breaking down and demolishing Esau's kingdom. So he has to find a way to try to stop it. That's why they have all these different psyops and all these different situations happening all throughout America to shut down pretty much those avenues of truth. You got it.
Yep. I'll continue. It says, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Yasharallah may be no more in remembrance.
And that's the main thing, because the name Israel is still, it's still out there. You still got a place called Israel, right? That name is still out there. They throw that name all over the place, but they wanted to take it away from the remembrance of Jake. They wanted to remove Jake from that. This is why them small hats got that name. And then this is why when you speak to a certain amount of these Israelites out here, they'll laugh at the fact, or they'll laugh at the thought of them being Israelites.
Yep.
Like that's why you have these Jakes, making fun of the name and making fun of the language and all this stuff, because they can't conceive themselves being Israelites, because the world has deceived everybody. So these devils have deceived the world so much that everybody believes that they're the people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But the truth is coming out.
The truth is coming out, and ultimately there's certain, Israelites that the Lord blinded their mind. He don't want them to know that they're Israelites. He wants them to fight up against it.
Yep.
But it makes plain.
No, go ahead.
It makes plain sense to us.
Yeah, and that's why they fight against this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let me continue. Yep. So it's not, the name Israel is still out there, but it's not in remembrance
amongst Jake.
It's not associated. When you think of Israel, Jake is the farthest.
Yep.
That you would equate.
That's it.
From being an Israelite, you would go so much to say that some lost tribe in China could be the Israelites.
That was the naked archaeologist.
The
naked archaeologist did a 12 tribe, finding the 10 lost tribes or the 12 tribes or whatever, and he picked everybody from I'm just exaggerating. Mount Everest and the Himalayan mountains and Nepal and all these different places, remote areas of the world, but not once did he mention Issachar or Gad or Judah and any of the real tribes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Jake is lost in plain sight.
And he's a small hat.
Of course. So, of course, they don't want, this we're reading it. That's that crafty counsel. That was part of that crafty counsel, because them small hats know more than anybody. That history has not lost. They know that they're not the people.
Oh, yeah.
Those regular, Israelis, they believe that they're the people. That's all they taught. But the people that are in the know, they very well know that they're not the people.
And that's why they have to pass so much legislation and make it seem like there's so many mishaps happening to them, when they're the ones causing all the grievances and mishaps and miseries of the world.
Verse 5, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against them.
Right, and I believe in the NLT it says conspiracy, because the word conspiracy is in the scriptures, NLT. Nope, that's not it. No. Well, there was, I don't know if it's where you at? Oh yeah, ESV. There you go.
For they conspire with one accord. For they conspire with one accord. Against you, they make a covenant.
Right, and the word conspire is with breathing. So they were in agreement. All of these different nations were in agreement. They were confederate, as it says there. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get let's see, consent and confederate. Consent is the word lab, which means mind. Right? Lab is mind. The word, it should be akhad for one. And then the word confederate is barayath, which means a covenant. So they're pretty much in covenant with each other.
Yeah. They're one mind.
One mind. And what's that one mind? Destroy Jake.
That's it. That's why those Arabs, they're not telling the whole world that we're Jake.
No.
Those the Chinese, they're not telling. They have the history.
Yeah.
They have the documents. They understand. So they so-called coming against Jacob. I mean, they coming against Esau, but at the same time, why are they not saying, hey, no, well, they're the real Israelites. Why are they not saying that? Because they are Confederate as well. They fight amongst each other, but they are all in agreement to keep us down.
That's it.
To destroy us. Okay.
And Salaki, let's go to Revelation 11 and 8. We're going to read 8 and 9, and we're going to look up one word in here just to show you. They know, but they're not going to put Jake to mind at ease to rest, because if Esau said it, let's say if Esau got up, a small hat got up on the in the news, in the news, and said that the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians are Israelites, it'll be over.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
Damn hip. That damn shoulder. You got it.
Yeah, because Esau is the voice of this world. Whatever comes out of his mouth is so-called law. Nobody questions it.
Right.
So now we're in a time, the Inquisition, which is a period of prolonged, intense questioning and investigation. So now people are starting to question what he has said.
Right.
Okay, because we're in that time. We're in that time where them strongholds are being beat down by that hammer.
Yep.
And getting crushed, and that fire is burning his foundation.
Yeah, his lies.
And people are starting to question. At one point, nobody questioned this damn devil.
No, hell no.
What he said was absolute. Okay, you got 1 million cells in your body, and that's what people will say. Well, you need your protein. That's what people said.
1 billion years ago.
1 billion years. That was law, and then he has establishments to reinforce that doctrine. And it's backed by what? Hundreds of millions of dollars. It's backed by his military. It's backed by the petrodollar. It's backed by his influence, right?
Right. There was another. No, you got it. Okay. You got it.
Revelation 11 and 8. And their dead bodies.
And they said, like basically now they're like, and you how dare you question us?
That's it.
You got it.
Yeah. That's exactly the spirit of Esau.
Oh yeah.
And since you question him now, and your mind is not changing, you can't change your mind. What does he do?
Take you out.
There you go.
The reason why is because they're so used to having Jake in total submission and slavery, where you couldn't have your own thoughts, you couldn't rebel, you couldn't even look him in the eye, and they see that power being lost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that glitter is not in Jake's eye no more.
Right.
That yes, massa spirit.
Yep.
Yes, massa.
You still got some.
Yeah.
You got some out there.
There's a couple of them out there.
Yep.
It says, and their dead bodies, Revelation 11 and 8, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city.
That's dealing with Jake in a dead mental state. I wasn't trying to rhyme either. The great city is America. Go ahead.
It says, which
spiritually. Go ahead.
Which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified.
Spiritually. Mm-hmm. Where also our Lord was crucified spiritually. Mm-hmm. See? That's not talking about Jerusalem. That's talking about here in America. How was Yahushua crucified here? But he was crossed out. Mm-hmm. You had the so-called white Jesus and all that nonsense, and then the different doctrines of, the Lord is all love and all that bullshit. That's all was used to cross Yahushua out. But the point is that the dead bodies, mentally dead Jake out there, are in America in that dead state. But go ahead.
Yep. It says, and they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations,
which we're reading about,
shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half.
Right, from the time of the bulk of the slaves to about 1969, 1970. They've seen that. They know what's going on. Go ahead.
And shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves.
Now let's look at the word graves. To be put to rest.
Yep.
Not talking about a physical grave. It's not talking about a physical grave. Because the word there is ne'mah, which is where you get the word memory from, right? Ne'mah is a monument or memorial.
Mnemonic. Is that to remember?
Mnemonic, yep, to remember Johnny Mnemonic, that movie. It says a monument or memorial to perpetuate the memory of any person or thing, a sepulchre, monument, a sepulchre, or tomb. But now check this out. Go to the root word etymology. And the root word etymology is na omahi, right? Which means what? To remind. See, to be recalled or to return to one's mind. To remind oneself to remember. So they didn't bring back to Jake's memory who they were, so that Jake can be at ease, because Jake was just suffering and just didn't know why, catching hell. And these nations didn't help that, and they knew, especially the higher ups.
Oh yeah, but what's crazy is the Lord didn't fucking need you nations.
That's it.
Your spirit, and this is why they're like, what the hell is going on?
Right.
We didn't tell them.
Yep.
We beat them down. What's going on? How did this happen?
Matter of fact, we gotta go there.
What's going on with that? It was the spirit of the Lord.
Yep.
All right, because when you read down in that same chapter, the 18th, the 11th verse, where it says, when the spirit of the Lord came back upon us, and we stood upon our feet.
Right, and so, great fear.
Great fear. So standing upon our feet, meaning we became alive back again.
Right.
You know, we were in the dust. Dead. When you're dead, you're in the ground. You're in the grave.
Confused.
You're in a confused state. That dust. But now we wipe the dust off, and we actually stand upon our feet.
Yep.
And then we cursing out everybody.
Isaiah 52.
That's it.
Shake yourself from the dust.
That's it.
You know. Go to Micah 4 and 5, and then we'll go back to Psalms 83.
And I got a precept too.
Okay. Let's read this one, and then we'll get your precept. I must be allowed to read.
Read what I tell you to read.
Yeah. Con. You got it.
Micah 4 and 5. It says, "For all people."
I'm sorry, Malachi. My bad. Malachi 4 and 5.
Malachi 4 and 5. Behold, I will send Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord.
That didn't happen back 2,000 years ago, because the great and dreadful day of the Lord is about to happen now. So Elijah came back, and this time, go ahead.
And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse.
Right, like the elder said, we didn't need the nations to remind us, because the Lord reminded us through his prophets. You see? But what was your precept?
Yeah, Lamentations 2.
Oh yeah, 15. I thought about that earlier.
Yeah. Because going again, they didn't put us to rest by telling us. They didn't come, bring it back to our remembrance, because they were the very same nations that wanted to hide it. We're reading in Psalms 83. We keep going down, and it gives you a list of nations that all came together. Can you imagine that? They all came together with this big elaborate plan, this plot, this scheme to us as a people. Remember Balak, the king of Moab.
Mm-hmm.
He hired Balaam to curse us, to take us out. He saw this great nation, and we weren't even taking them down or anything like that. We were just living, dwelling. But they gonna get us. They gonna take us from power. They gonna put us in subjection, and they just couldn't have that. So let's curse them.
Well, I don't know if you remember when Barack Obama first came into office. The Edomites, they were making video. There's one Edomite said, he was nervous because he thought that Jake was gonna put them in slavery now. That's Esau's the greatest fear. Matter of fact, the scriptures say that the fear of the wicked shall come upon him. So Esau's greatest fear is that he will have to pay for all the wicked shit that he's done throughout the centuries.
And this is why this truth is such,
detriment
to his society, because his first initial thing was, these niggas is crazy. Hey, we already broke that thing up. We already broke that up. We ain't worried about that. We on to bigger and better things. We already infiltrated that. We got that. That's not a big deal.
We did that already.
Don't put it on the news. It's crazy. They're crazy. But now they're like, hold on. Wait, what's going on? They're not stopping.
Right.
They're not stopping. Why did they keep? What's going on? They're broke. We're poisoning them. We're sending frequencies at them.
Yep.
We're making sure that they're, we're praying to the Lord to destroy them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Casting spells
and enchantment, and it's not working. So now something. Well, that great fear is falling upon.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Okay. Lamentations 2:15. It said, because the prophet, like the Lord told Elijah, I got 7,000 men that will not bow down to the image of Baal.
Go.
Okay, there's a different spirit that's on the prophets.
Yep.
Okay, there's the righteous spirit is what drives us. That's the driving force. If we wake up, we all fucked up, we can't even think, and then the spirit just hit us like we start to prophesy. Okay, so it's the spirit of the Lord that's setting us up to do this. Just like it was the spirit of the Lord that brought us back to remembrance, even though all these nations were confederate, especially Esau, that's trying to make sure that us being an Israelite is not in our mind. Okay, and the one thing the elder Manasseh Zakba, one thing we've been seeing, it was like just a burst out of nowhere, is all these people, especially on TikTok, that just start coming against the Hebrew Israelite. It was like out of nowhere. They just started making videos. All right, so these different podcasters start making videos and start bringing up the Israelites, shalom, okay, to come against us, because this truth is getting to them. They're starting to see the church numbers decrease, okay, especially the men. The Lord is not dealing with the woman, okay? Let's get that first and foremost. The Lord is not personally dealing with the woman. The woman gets to the Lord through the man by being obedient to the man. So the main objective is to get the Israelite man, okay, to believe in this system, okay, to get his mind, and then work on the woman to pacify the man. But now you have certain men, like, to hell with this woman.
Yep.
They're coming back to the understanding, the remembrance. Okay, Lamentations 2:15. All that pass by clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they did. And they know who the Israelites are. And they understand that as long as they keep us in a constant state of sinning against the Lord, that the Most High ain't gonna deal with us. But what they didn't count on was prophecy. They didn't count on the prophets coming out and teaching, and the elect waking up.
They consider
their latter end.
Man. That's it. I was gonna say that's the first. That's right there. They didn't consider the latter end. They didn't consider the spirit of the Lord. There was no defense. There's no defense against the spirit of the Lord.
Right.
You can't fight it. You can't. There's no weapon that you can create that can actually stop the righteous spirit.
That's it.
Okay. It says, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty? The joy of the whole earth?
Right. And the Lord's going to bring us back to that state. You know? Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. All thy enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly this is the day that we look for. We have found. We have seen it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So they waited for this day. They Psalm 83, they came together to conspire against the Heavenly Father and his people. And then what do? They set the plan and they built the plan, and then they followed through.
Yep.
And it was success in their eyes. It was successful for so many 350 years.
Yep.
Okay, 3.5 days. But then the Spirit of the Lord, like, wait, hold on, what the hell is going on?
What's that over there? What's going on?
Israelite, they started what? And then they thought in their mind that they suppressed it.
Right.
But the more they try to suppress it, the more
it grew.
It grew. It became evident.
Yep.
Why are you trying to suppress this? What's going on? Why are you trying to do that?
Oh, they've been trying to pay off the main school at One West for a long time. Rosicrucians used to come with, suitcases of money, and then eventually they got it, but the Spirit made it to where, some of us, the Lord got out of there to continue teaching.
That's it.
And
through the diligence of the apostles, really, let's just be honest, that spirit of going out there being diligent and preaching, that was pushed through the apostles. And now we've inherited in the bishops, can't forget the elder bishops, they were there too. The apostles and elder bishops, they pushed that spirit of just pushing the word, especially the apostles are hard. Like, You know, at one point, like, hey, every brother should be doing, because we weren't doing videos like that. It was only certain men that were doing videos.
Well, first of all, the only videos that were going up at one time were the videos at the main camp, 34/7.
That's it. And then brothers camps start popping up, you know. And then it was a point where, you know, brothers wasn't really doing sit downs like that, and the sit down spirit came.
Boom, boom, boom.
You know, and that was like a sifting mechanism too, because you had certain men that didn't like that. Well, I gotta do videos now.
Ah, man.
And then the Apostle Tar said 3 videos.
Three videos a week. And you had guys that lost it.
Yeah, they lost it. You know,
they got their shorts in a bunch.
And then the Apostle said a video every day.
Yeah.
And then that really just was like, you know.
Yeah.
But since
that, like you said, that was used as a sifting mechanism too. You got it.
And also to push the word of the Lord, because things are speeding up. Once that happens, things start speeding up.
Yeah.
You know.
And
now it's a daily edification.
Yep.
A daily exhortation of the Apostle Elder Gabar.
24/7.
24/7. And then the way that AI is, you can hear it in any language. It'll translate it in real time.
Yeah.
So you can hear it in Japanese, in our voices, in Japanese. You put it through the AI translation model. All right.
No excuse.
Verse 16. All thy enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash their teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly this is the day that we look for. We have found it. We have seen it.
Read 17.
Yep. The Lord has done that which he had devised. So it's really the Lord was in that council. He set that up. He set up Esau and other nations to devise that council. Because that was the Lord's counsel to come against us.
Yep.
Okay. He has fulfilled his word that he has commanded in the days of old.
But shows you that the nations were privy to what the prophets were saying to Israel.
That's it. Well, you had Judith the 5th chapter. Where you had that
Achior.
Captain, what was his name?
Achior.
He basically broke it down how you can take us out. Okay, and where our power actually came from. It came from not sinning against our power.
Right.
By following instructions. So this is why that council was set up to lay snares in front of us to do what? To do iniquity.
Right.
Sin.
That's why it said that, woe to him that put his bottle to his neighbor.
Yep. It says, he has fulfilled his word that he has commanded in the days of old. He has thrown down and has not pitied. And he has caused thy enemy to rejoice over thee. He has set up the horn of thy adversary.
Right. And that's why it says, was that, I believe that was in Psalms we were reading.
What is that?
Right. In Psalms 83:2. For lo, the enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head, because they got into that power. So let's go back. Did you have any other points in there? All right, so let's go back to Psalms 83. Let's read a couple more verses, and then we could close out. Verse 5, yeah.
Yep. For they are consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom.
Which are the Edomites, the so-called white people, the heads. That's the head of that. Go ahead.
And the Ishmaelites.
And those are the two main leading nations that are complicit in this. And why is that? Because they are the two that missed the mark.
Yeah. They hot.
And they were both firstborn.
Yeah. And they mad. They big mad.
Ishmael was firstborn,
yeah.
But Isaac took it. Esau was the firstborn, but Jacob took it.
Hurt.
So they were like right there.
Yeah.
Close.
Hurt. Cooked.
Almost. All smokes, but no cigar.
So that's why they have a hatred towards Jacob, because they can see, they know in their spirit that we're superior to them, but they have the superiority over us at this particular time.
Right.
And they make sure that it's known. They let you know that they're superior to you. They flaunt it in their face. They are very proud of talk shit, call you names. They're elated. This is the day that they've been looking for. They want this is what they've always wanted, for them to be over Jake, okay, and to show that superiority, okay, that hegemony upon Jake, okay. They're happy, and see, Ishmael is happy being under Esau as long as he can be over niggas.
Yep.
Okay. It says the tabernacles of Edom. all right, and the Ishmaelites of Moab,
Mm-hmm.
and the Hagarenes,
Yep.
Gebal, and Ammon, and Amalek.
Amalek is the head of the Edomites, man. These are the devils. They said that they shall be the chief of the nations. You know, they were the first nation we had war with, and they also in the latter days would be the top head, you know, Edomite family that would govern over the world. Go ahead.
The Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Mm-hmm.
So even those Hamites.
Yep. They all been in cahoots.
Ashur also is joined with them. They have holpen the children of Lot. Say Lot.
Right. So pretty much, you know, and the Lord is going to bring judgment upon these nations for what they've done to the apple of the Lord's eye. That's why it says that his beef. Matter of fact, let's end it with Isaiah 34:1. And then we could jump from Isaiah 34:1, and then you could jump down. Go ahead.
Isaiah 34:1. Come near, ye nations, to hear and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it.
This is the message. Go ahead, verse 2.
For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He has utterly destroyed them. He has delivered them to the slaughter.
Why? Jump to the 8th verse.
Verse 8. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion.
So for what you did to the Israelites, that's why you're being judged. The Lord said in Zechariah that he was but a little displeased, but you helped forward the affliction. You know, you went above and beyond, you know, what the Lord, you know, said to do, you know, but hey, that's all right.
And even the creation of these YNs,
Mm-hmm.
you know, these creations of these Shirleys and these Keishas, these Poogies and these Ray Rays, and the Hectors and the Jesuses.
God damn.
You know?
And the Marias
and the Marias and
Conchita.
Yeah. And Veronicas, you know. You pretty much made Jake even worse than they were. You know? You completely degenerated Jake.
Damn. Read this in the NLT, that verse 8.
NLT. It says, for it is the day of the Lord's vengeance. For it is the day of the Lord's revenge, the year when Edom will be paid back for all it did to Israel.
Damn.
Psalms 137. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom.
Yep.
You know?
In the day of when matter of fact.
Let's just get it.
Let's get it, yeah. Psalms 137.
Yeah, because I did a lesson the other day, basically, remember what Esau did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because every time we read these scriptures, every time we even think upon that, we're bringing that back before that's being presented back into in front of the Heavenly Father's face.
Yep.
Hey, Lord, look, remember what they did.
Yep.
You just gonna allow that to happen? Like, we just gonna be through forever? Aren't you gonna take vengeance? You know, so that's being put back. You can put things. You can say, "Hey, Lord, this is your word."
Yep.
You can do that. That's not wicked. Remember your word, Lord. Remember. So here, remember what the Edomites did, Lord. Keep that in front of you. You know, Psalms 137 and 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, "Raise it, even to the foundations thereof."
Right. That's when the Babylonian Empire came in and took us down. They said, "Get rid of them all, destroy them all, level it."
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
O daughter of Babylon.
Esau is the daughter of Babylon,
who ought to be destroyed.
Right, and that's what we're witnessing right now. The Edomite America is known spiritually today as Edom, and we're waiting for the destruction of this place, also known as Babylon the Great and many other names. Go ahead.
Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us.
Right, because we're going to get vengeance back. Go ahead.
Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stone.
Like you did to us. You know, the countless, murders that you committed against the Israelites. The men, women, children, old, young, didn't matter. Now it's time for you to pay. Alligator babies, yep.
You know,
boy, you got a lot to pay for.
You would the guy, women.
Yep.
You would hang them upside down.
Yep.
And if they were pregnant, you would cut them open. You know, the Latin tribes, and let the baby fall out and have the dogs eat them.
Yep. Smash their head against the wall.
And have a bet to see if it's a boy or a girl.
Yep.
You know.
Then you would have the Taino men and women tied up by the wrists and hanging on a spit, 13 at a time, and burnt alive. You would have the limbs cut off and fed to the dogs. The dogs of war, the Spanish dogs of war,
got a taste of flesh.
Got a taste for Taino flesh.
Yeah, Taino, yeah.
I have Taino. I'm gonna eat some Taino today. You know, now you have a taste for Italian, or you have a taste for some Greek food or whatever. The dogs, they just develop a taste for our flesh. You got anything else?
Nah.
All right. So with that, we pray that you brothers and few sisters have been edified. Till next time we say Shalom.
Shalom.
Hour 20 minutes.